Now, in the diplomatic front, the diplomatic missions have been reduced drastically on both sides. But at this particular point of time, it appears that the world has supported India, is condemned the massacre in Pahalgam, but is also asking for restraint on both sides. I asked my friend, another domain expert, M.N. Sabharwal, who was our High Commissioner to Pakistan, to explain what is this drastic reduction of the numbers in the embassy mean? Does it mean that we completely are cut off from talks? So I asked Sabharwal to explain it too for us.
Well, Yasho, the agreed size of the two high commissions on both sides is 110 officers and staff members in all. Now, in each moment of crisis, one country or the other has curtailed that strength and the other country has retaliated to reduce it to the same number. So in the latest round, in 2020, India asked Pakistan to reduce the strength of its High Commission by half, that is to 55. That is after we had arrested some of their consular people spying, etc., etc. Pakistan did the same for our High Commission, and now that strength has been reduced from 50 to 30. India reduced it to 30 after the Pahalgam attack, and Pakistan has reciprocated, and our mission is also down to 30. What is important this time is that India expelled Pakistan's air, naval, and armed forces, army advisors. Pakistan has done likewise. India had already said that we would withdraw them. It's a signal each time, strength has been curtailed. It's been a signal by India that it's not business as usual. In any case, in today's circumstances, the work goes down drastically. Visas are not being issued, and so on. So you don't need so many people. And to express a degree of displeasure. But it doesn't mean that, there is no diplomatic contact between the two countries. There are charges on both sides with 29 other colleagues. The strength is down to 30. So there is that channel available. Now, whether it can be useful or not in these conditions, it's very difficult to say.
So, Sharat, tell me, how do you view the support of the various countries for India on the Pahalgam issue?
Well, international support to us has been on the expected lines after Pahalgam attack.
I don't want war, I want peace. But if Pakistan attacks India, I will support India.
As in the case of earlier egregious terror attacks, all key partners of India, major countries have spoken, their leaders have spoken to our Prime Minister, have expressed sympathy, condemned the attack. The UN Security Council adopted a press statement condemning the attack. So that's been on the expected lines. But the problem is, as in the past, when things start moving towards escalation, that's when most countries start advising restraint. And the Americans are doing this already. Trump said initially the two countries can sort it out. Then the State Department spokesperson said, we are urging them to reach a responsible solution. And now they are saying that they are in touch with both the countries, and they are encouraging other major countries also to get in touch with India and Pakistan and asking them not to escalate. So that's one side of it. We should be mindful that if things move towards an escalation, this doesn't mean that, this kind of counsel would prevent us from taking any kinetic action that we wish to take. But if things thereon start moving towards an escalatory ladder, that's when, this kind of counsel will come our way again, and more pressure will apply. And the last point I would want to make is that the key countries are not about to abandon Pakistan. Let's be very clear about it, whether it's the United States or our close friend Saudi Arabia now, or the UAE, etc., etc. And in many cases, the major countries see it as a very volatile space. with nuclear weapons, and they won't do anything with sort of, for example, withdrawing economic support, which leads to Pakistan's collapse and leads to a more serious situation.
Finally, let me ask you a question. What reaction do you expect from Pakistan if India delivers a well-timed, precise strike? It could be kinetic too.
We are already being asked by key countries, at least the United States, they have said it publicly, to exercise restraint, not to escalate things. And while that will not prevent us from taking kinetic military action, but if things start moving towards an escalatory ladder, that's when the international community gets very anxious, especially because of the nuclear dimension. And we should expect them to counsel restraint and try and put a little more pressure on both sides, not to escalate any further.
While doing the show, I got a message from my friend Amitabh Mathur, another Pakistan expert. He was in the RAW and later retired as Secretary ARC. He says, our approach to Pakistan has been one of tactical reaction to the periodic provocations we have seen since long. We have tried coercion, we have extended a hand of friendship, we have ignored it as we have had the last decade and more. Is it not time to adopt a strategic approach, decide whether this country in its present shape unsettles regional stability and impedes progress, and that its territorial integrity is not sacrosanct? Remove the army from the equation by inflicting on it a humiliation that pushes it off center stage? Meaning, rather than letting it remain on the edge of abyss, help it tilt over and be recast in a more suitable way. What will be the consequences of this? Or admit the neighbor cannot be wished away, and without being diverted by occasional setbacks, stick to engaging with it to work towards a stable, peaceful neighbor, and wise words to reflect upon.